This is the Jerry Callahan Show.
You know, I've often said the best sporting event, TV sporting event, is the Ryder Cup. A good, close Ryder Cup is my favorite TV event. I love the Masters. I might put that number 2. Then the Super Bowl, number 3. The AFC and NFC championship games would be 4 and 5. Maybe the national championship in football, always a great take. I'm going to amend my list. Number 1 on the list, I'm going to shoot it to number 1, will be the proposed match, 18 holes, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but let's be honest. I didn't think the debate would happen because Joe Biden set the rules. Joe Biden said he would debate, and he said, bring it on, pal. I'm ready, pal. I hear you free on Wednesdays. And Trump brilliantly said, okay, I'm in. And Joe Biden was stuck. He called Biden's bluff. And what happened next changed history. You had the worst debate performance by a presidential candidate in history, an absolute disaster. And the fallout continues. Democrats are continuing to jump ship every day. It's an amazing thing to watch. They saw him live on stage and they said, he can't do it. Of course, Biden's too stubborn to agree and step away, and we'll get to that. But last night, Donald Trump did it again. I got to give him credit. He accepted the challenge, which was laid out by Joe Biden. Let's not forget, Biden said he would play him. He said it a couple times. He tweeted it out, said he would play him in a match. He said 18 holes as long as we carry our own bags. Trump should have said this last night. He never said, okay, Joe, let's do it on your terms. We'll carry our own bags. The thought, the idea of Joe Biden carrying a golf bag for one hole, forget 18 holes, one hole, would be laughable. I mean, Trump laid out the terms, though, said he would give him 20 shots. Joe Biden says he's a 6 handicap. I can tell you right now, any 6 handicap would jump on this offer. He would get more than 1 shot per hole. If you were really a 6 or an 8, don't forget Joe Biden changed. He said he was a 6 and 2 seconds later said he was an 8. If Joe Biden were a 25 handicap, he would take this challenge. It would be easy. He would beat Trump on Trump's own golf course. It's up to you, Joe. It's on you, Joe. Trump laid it out. Now just say, okay, let's do it. What better way to show your vigor, to show your level of energy than to play Donald Trump in golf for 18 holes? Go ahead, Joe. Take the offer. Take the challenge. Let's do it. This was great last night. Donald Trump said, let's do it. I'll give you 20 shots. Let's watch.
I'm also officially challenging Crooked Joe to an 18-hole golf match right here. Underows Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history, maybe bigger than the Ryder Cup or even the Masters.
Yes, it would be bigger than the Ryder Cup and the Masters, at least for, I don't know, an hour or so. There were 50 million viewers of the debate, the first debate, the disastrous debate. There would be more than 50 million viewers for this event. Now, I don't know why he had to say it was at Doral. He should say anywhere, Joe, any course, anywhere. We'll go to the Muni in Delaware. We'll go to Rehoboth Beach. We'll play mini golf. That would have been good. I'll play you in mini golf, Joe. You can do that, can't you? We'll carry our own putters. This was proposed by Joe Biden. Let's not forget, Joe Biden. He's done it a couple times. He sat down with, who was he with? Colbert, right? Colbert. At that event in New York when he ignored the funeral of the police officer who was murdered and went to Radio City Music Hall with Joe Biden, with Barack Obama and Stephen Colbert and all the rest of the Hollywood elites while Trump went to the funeral or the wake. Listen to this. This is so bad. Everything he does is so bad. He can't fake the energy. He doesn't have it in him. Stephen Colbert sucks at this too, by the way. They're all making jokes about Joe Biden now. Jon Stewart did a 15-minute monologue mocking Biden. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, they are making jokes about Joe Biden. They've gotten the green light. The memo went out. It's okay to make fun of our feeble, frail, confused, cognitively declining president. They're doing it. That's a bad sign for Joe. But this was when times were better, when Stephen Colbert was still sucking his toes, and he sat down with Colbert, and he made the offer. He made the challenge. Listen to this.
Raleigh, Saginaw, Milwaukee, Phoenix, Vegas, Atlanta, the Philly suburbs, Manchester, Dallas, and Houston. Donald Trump, as far as we can tell, has just been trying to win a third championship at his own golf course. My question to you, sir, can voters trust a presidential candidate who has not won a single Trump International Golf Club trophy? At long last, sir, have you no chip shot?
Well, look, I'd be happy to play. I told him this before when he came into the Oval, before he got sworn in. I said, I'll give you 3 strokes if you carry your own bag.
That's so bad. Give you 3 strokes. So he would give him 3 strokes. And Trump says, no, I'll give you 20 strokes. And Joe Biden, we haven't heard from him yet today. I don't know. Maybe he'll make a joke and say, let's do it, Donald. Maybe he'll never do it. Trump also smartly challenged him to another debate with no moderator. This is good Trump. I saw this rally yesterday down in Florida, and he wasn't too crazy. He wasn't too off the rails. It wasn't too long. He had no tie on, which was something different. He's doing everything right. He's allowing, for the most part, Joe Biden to continue to bury himself. He's allowing the Democrats to just have the circular firing squad where they destroy each other. He's allowing the big story, the headline story to be, will Joe Biden step down? Will Joe Biden quit the race? The answer obviously is no, as we've gone over many times, but that hasn't stopped many, many Democrats, many, many media members, same thing, of saying Joe has to go. Now, they're not thinking this through. By the way, I was just reading the details of this. Joe Biden, if he steps down, the only one who can get the money in Joe Biden's campaign war chest is Kamala Harris. And I don't think she can get it until the convention. So Joe, even if he was to step down, has to hang in there for another month. And he has to hand the reins to Kamala Harris, who is less popular than he is. So they are in a jam right now. They have no choice but to prop up this fossil for at least another month and hope that they can set him up with some friendly interviews, hope that he won't fall down. Literally, they have to do this in the middle of a campaign when everyone knows he cannot do it. He can't campaign. He can't make speeches. Hell, he was at the NATO summit yesterday, and he couldn't look away from the teleprompter for one word. I don't know. Do we have that clip with the head of NATO? When he introduces him, he reaches to shake his hand. He can't look away from the teleprompter just to introduce the guy. It's uncomfortable to watch. And this is in front of the world. This is with all the NATO countries gathered in D.C. And this is the leader they're looking towards, Joe Biden. They know today, right now, all the people from the 31 other NATO countries in D.C., they saw with their own eyes the problem we have. We have an extremely weak and compromised leader. And all he did was, of course, stand up and say, we're going to give NATO, we're going to give Ukraine everything they want. Because they're going to beat Russia. Everyone knows that's not possible. Everyone knows that war is foolish and it must end. Another thing Trump does every day is say, I will end that war. That is a good message. That is good Trump. But what's happening here domestically is fascinating. Yesterday, this morning, I want to get to this. This morning on Morning Joe, Nancy Pelosi, who, by the way, looks almost as bad as Joe Biden. She's 83. She can barely walk, but she's still a powerful force in the Democrat Party. She sits down with Morning Joe and says, and will not support Joe Biden, completely. Will not say, yes, he's our guy. We're riding with Biden. That's what James Clyburn said yesterday. We're riding with Biden. Many other Democrats, lots of them said, we're not sure. We'll see. This guy, Steve Cohen from Tennessee, he's bailed on him. He wants Kamala. They have real dissension in the ranks, and they never do. They're always on the same page. They're always in lockstep. Listen to this. We'll get to Biden and what he said over the last few days. But this is today on Morning Joe. Nancy Pelosi will not give her complete support to Joe Biden. Watch.
He has said he has made the decision. He has said firmly this week he is going to run. Do you want him to run?
I want him to do whatever he decides to do. And that's the way it is. Whatever he decides, we go with.
Whatever he decides. What the hell does that mean? He's decided. He couldn't be clearer. I know usually Joe Biden is confused, usually incoherent, but he could not have been clearer with when he called in Amika and Joe and when he took to the stage earlier this week. Tell me there's any wiggle room here. Tell me he's not being completely clear. We'll revisit Nancy, but listen to Joe Biden 2 days ago. Go ahead.
Well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. No! Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. Yeah! I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
Is that unclear? Is there some confusion there?
Kind of, because he said, I'll beat him again in 2020.
Good point by you, Iron. There's a little confusion. But right after that, Nancy Pelosi says, I don't know. I support him whatever he wants to do. He has to make a decision. They are pressuring him. She is the ultimate force behind the scenes, Nancy Pelosi. She made it clear, at least to me, that she is pushing him, forcing him to step aside. They see the polls. They see him. They know he has real issues. They know he has Parkinson's or some other neurological disorder. And they know that man can't beat Trump. They know that man can't beat anyone. And I guess they think Kamala at least is functioning, cognitively. I mean, I don't even know which will be more entertaining. I, usually root for the story. I like chaos. I like drama. I don't even know which would be better. Trump versus Kamala in a debate in September, Trump versus Kamala on the campaign trail, or Trump versus Joe Biden. Either way, man, we are in for a wild 4 months. But I can't, you get the sense when you watch, when you listen, that there are real powerful forces begging, pleading with Joe Biden to step aside. And consider this, we haven't talked about this. What if they can't get him to step aside? Will they blackmail him? Will they say, if you don't, then we will release this? God knows there's a lot of dirt. Hell, he's being advised by Hunter Biden. They have so much on this family. Could they do that? Could they make a deal? Could they say, we'll give you whatever, tens of millions of dollars? We know the Bidens are always looking to cash in. Is there a way they could force him, pay him, bribe him? He's taken bribes before. Because you can't tell me that people like Nancy Pelosi and many, many others, Steve Cohen, a number of Democrats, aren't going to do whatever they can to force, to coerce this vegetable to step aside and take the money and run. It's going to be wild. And let's not forget, the media is coming around. Most of the mainstream media. Yesterday in New York City, George Stephanopoulos, said something out of school, something as he admitted he wasn't supposed to say. A TMZ, I'm not sure, was this undercover? I think it was undercover. God bless TMZ. But they got Steffi walking down the sidewalk in New York City and asked him about Joe Biden's condition. It's not the clearest audio, but we will discuss. I will tell you what he said. Can we play it?
Hey, how you doing? Good. What do you think? Do you think Biden should step down? You talk to him more than anybody else have lately. And you can be honest. You don't think he can serve 4 more years? All right. That's an answer.
He can't make it another term. He can't serve another term, is what George Stephanopoulos said. That is just stating a fact. Everybody knows he can't make it another term. He can't do it. So Steffi was just answering the question factually, accurately. But boy, he wasn't supposed to do that. He just did the interview that was supposed to rehab Joe Biden's image, supposed to help him limit the damage after the debate. It didn't work, but we know Steffi is a devout supporter of Biden and Trump hater. ABC comes out with a statement afterwards. Here is the story. ABC News is distancing itself from its star anchor's candid assertion that President Biden can't serve 4 more years. George Stephanopoulos, on the heels of his high-stakes interview last week with Biden, following the disastrous debate performance, was seen on video being asked whether Biden should step down. I don't think he can serve 4 more years, George said while walking in New York City. ABC released a statement telling Fox News Digital, quote, George expressed his own point of view and not the position of ABC. Stephanopoulos appeared regretful, saying in a statement, earlier today I responded to a question from a passerby. I should not have. That's what he says. I should not have. Yes, you should have, George. You told the truth. That's okay. He stated the obvious. I mean, of course he can't serve 4 more years. Here's the bottom line. Here's why Trump is riding high. Here's why there's real dissension. Is because no one honestly thinks Biden could last 4 more years. 4 more months is going to be a challenge. I don't care who it is. I don't get Morning Joe or Hunter, Jill, it could, Kimmel, Colbert. Honestly, no one believes that man could serve to the age of 86. That should be the line from the Trump campaign every day. Can you imagine this man, this struggling, confused old man serving to the age of 86? That's just not possible. They are lying to you every day when they say Biden is the man. They can say Biden can beat Trump because he did it before. I mean, obviously times have changed. He's fallen. He's not the same man. We see that every day. But the idea that the guy we see, the guy who's getting visited by neurologists every month, the idea that he could do the job, the toughest job in the world, for 4 more years is laughable. Stephanopoulos shouldn't have apologized. He just stated the obvious. Of course he can't. I mean, Peter Doocy asked Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday, is he committed to serve the full term? And she said, of course. But no one thinks that's possible. Everyone knows they're voting for Kamala Harris. That's what they're doing. And it's not good. It's not a good pitch. It's not a good proposal from the Democrats. Vote for Joe. And as soon as he becomes completely incapacitated, you get Kamala. That's bad, man. And they have only themselves to blame. They could have opened it up to other candidates. They could have considered Dean Phillips or RFK Jr. or you name it. But they didn't. They said, Joe is our guy. And Joe dug in his heels, and Dr. Jill dug in her heels, and now they're stuck. Now they're saying, we have to wait. Joe has to make a decision. And he already decided, or should I say, she already decided. His 2 closest advisors, Jill and Hunter, are absolutely in his ear telling him, you're great, Dad. You can do this. Hang in there. Keep fighting. You're Scranton Joe. It's untenable. It is a mess, and it is glorious to watch. This is Ducey asking. Ducey's like one of like 10 people in that room now who are grilling Corinne Jean-Pierre every day. And as usual, she's just not up to the job. Watch this.
He's sharpest before 8 p.m. So say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady? Are you guys just not, since February, testing President Biden for Parkinson's or for dementia? Because if he gets a bad result, it's all over that day.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Ooh, she walks away. That's another bad sign, man. She can't do this. She can't be the one on damage control duty. She just isn't up for it. But get used to it. That's going to be every day. Now they are in a pickle. And as we've said, there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. He's back at the NATO summit. He's got to hit the campaign trail. I mean, Dr. Jill can't do it alone, although she thinks she can. Dr. Jill, that's who you're voting for. If you vote Joe Biden, you're voting for Dr. Jill and Kamala Harris, two of the worst women in the world. Really just awful, awful people. We'll get to both of them. We get your update on the woman with the biggest ego in America, Dr. Jill, and her demand of the Marine Corps. It's not enough that she's got Secret Service and Air Force One and servants and maids and cooks at her disposal. She has another demand of the Marine Corps. And we'll get to Kamala, what Kamala had to say about the scum, the pro-Hamas scum that was protesting for months in this country, burning, attacking Jewish people, burning the American flag, waving the Hezbollah flag. Kamala had some words about them. And the single funniest, would you agree, Ironhead, 30-second video of this campaign season, to me, I mean, the audio is not great, but the visual is the funniest damn thing I think I've ever seen. We'll get to that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
We know we went over this yesterday. Dr. Jill is just an awful, awful, evil, rotten person, and I've said it before. I mentioned going into a nursing home or an assisted living facility. I've done it many times, and the one thing that makes you feel good is when a patient who is struggling, who is confused, has a supportive spouse, has someone standing there and helping them, brushing their hair, feeding them, talking to them, holding their hand. I used to go in this chronic ward where my mother was, and many people had no visitors, and it was the saddest thing. I'd go in there on Christmas, Thanksgiving, and there'd be lots of family members, but there'd always be a few with nobody. And I understand why family members, when your loved one is completely gone mentally, you feel like you're not accomplishing anything to be there because they don't remember you. But it's always nice to see a supportive spouse, a supportive children who are there to the end with their loved one. That's not Jill Biden. She knows what's best for her husband, and she's not doing it because she is an egomaniac and she's drunk with power, and she's just at her core a rotten human being. She is never going to let him voluntarily step down. She doesn't care if it's the best thing for the country or the best thing for the party or the best thing for him. She, as she made clear in that Vogue interview, she loves the trappings of the job. She loves the limos. She loves the Vogue covers and the free clothes and the servants. She even loves when she takes the stage. And can you imagine like Melania Trump doing this? Melania Trump was a supermodel. She never appeared on any magazine. Jill Biden, this doctor of community college, whatever, this fraud, has been on the cover of Vogue 3 times. She, according to, what's this story? According to sources, she demanded the Marine Corps come up with a song for her when she took the stage. You know how they have Hail to the Chief for the president. I don't even know what this song is called, but this is an actual song made for her so that they could play it when she takes the stage in front of an audience. Do we have the music here, Ironhead?
Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the United States, Jill Biden, accompanied by the Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona, and the 2020 and 2021 National Teachers of the Year, Tabitha Rosproy and Juliana Ertube.
She's still wearing a mask too.
That song, yeah, this was a while ago. I didn't know this, but that song she commissioned for her so that they could play that song. It sucks, by the way, when she enters the room or takes the stage or takes the podium. That's the kind of person she is. I mean, Nancy Reagan, Laura Bush. I could see Hillary doing it, absolutely. But you have to have one massive ego to say, I need my own song, and that tells you a lot. This is the woman who is closest to him, who's advising him, who's telling him, you're fine, Joe. Just keep fighting, Joe. We're going to beat him. She's the one who told him he did a great job in the debate. You told the truth, she said. He lied. The Democrats have two cards they're playing right now. One, the threat to democracy, which we've already gone over. It's ludicrous. Nobody even can explain it, how Trump is a threat to democracy. It makes no sense. It doesn't work. I don't think anyone in any undecided independent voter saying, yeah, I better vote for the corpse because the other guy's a threat to democracy. And the other one, Trump lies. The media parrots this, says, Trump lies. How do you debate a guy? Colbert actually said Joe Biden shouldn't not debate because Trump lies. And then after the debate, we gave you the list of Biden lies, and it was longer than a CVS receipt. In the debate, he said no one died. No service members died on his watch. He said the Border Patrol endorsed him. He said he was a 6 handicap. It was one lie after another. And there's so many videos, so much evidence that Joe Biden lies like he breathes. I want to go back to this one, this supercut, because it's hysterical. The guy in this clip, in this supercut from Grabian, the guy there cannot make an effective argument that he tells the truth and the other guy lies. I mean, maybe Kamala can do that, maybe another candidate, but Joe Biden has a 50-year track record of lying about everything. We've gone over most of them, including his handicap. But perhaps the one that he goes to the most, and the thing he does most often, is try to ingratiate himself with an audience, try to connect with an audience. And he doesn't care about the truth. If he's, in front of a Jewish audience, he says he went to synagogue. And it's laughable. But watch this. How long is this? A minute long. And tell me this man can effectively portray his opponent as the guy who lies while he tells the truth. Watch this.
I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a very close relationship with the Greek American community, for real. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. I grew up in a heavily Irish Catholic community in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and a heavily Italian Polish community. When I say I got raised in the black church, he knows I'm not kidding. The Persian culture is amazing. As a student of the Persian culture, I probably went to shul more than many of you. I come out of the black community. Background of my family is Irish American, not fundamentally unlike the Palestinian people. You might say, raised in synagogue in my state. Everybody in town was either Polish or Italian. I grew up feeling self-conscious. My name didn't end in SKI. I was raised in a neighborhood where I felt self-conscious. My name didn't end in O. That's kind of how I was raised, like so many Americans of Irish heritage.
In HBCU in your home state, Mr. President.
Let me tell you, forget about it. That's right. That's where I got raised, man.
Just like rabbis, synagogues, and Jewish community centers in your hometowns, and that's the tradition I got raised. Hardworking people, the middle class, the neighborhoods I got raised in. I was raised on GM. I was raised by Danny Inouye. I was raised by a righteous Christian. I got raised on automobiles.
I mean, just shameless. That's the man who wants you to think he tells the truth. That's what Dr. Jill says. My guy tells the truth. The other guy lies. The other guy lies about, crowd size or his golf game. Joe Biden lies about everything, everything. The inflation rate, who raised him, doesn't matter what his father said to him. Still my favorite lie, I think, is that he saw two guys kissing in 1959, and his father just said, "Oh, Joey, that they just love each other." So, or he was no, I'm sorry, that's top 5. Number 1 is he got arrested in South Africa trying to visit Nelson Mandela. I mean, that's out there. I mean, that's such a stretch that no one can even, massage that one and make it sound like it was remotely true. He just doesn't care. He just lies reflexively. He's done it his whole life. Is this Jill?
That's a bad dude.
Yeah, Corn Pop was a good guy. Let's be honest. Is this Dr. Jill after the debate?
Yes, it is. It's like one of my favorite videos.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Yes.
Told the truth. Trump lied. I'm sorry. I knew the debate was bad. We did it. We were on that night. We did a show. We had some fun. But I can't believe how many people are still talking about what a disaster it was. What a career ender it was. It is remarkable. They have splintered. It's a wild thing to see. When they came out of that meeting yesterday, all the Democrats, people were putting cameras in their faces, and man, what a motley crew. It was like you had Corey Bush and Ayanna Pressley and Jerry Nadler and all these mutants, and half of them were just blowing the media off. Some were saying it didn't go well. They said it was depressing and contentious. This is something to keep an eye on. They are not on the same page. Steve Cohen, the guy from Tennessee, said they're not even in the same book. He went on Fox News, Steve Cohen, which I don't think he ever does, and said at least 20% of the party, which should be, 40 or 50, said they want Biden out. That's 40 to 50 Democrat congressmen and women who want Joe Biden out. It's wild. And then you have perhaps the biggest mutant of them all. Let me get her age, because these are the people deciding the fate of our country. 83-year-old Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, who, let's see, you want to guess her age, Ironhead?
87.
I would say let me guess. I'll say 84. But she went on CNN, I assume, to defend Joe Biden. Let's see.
I have it if you need it.
I got it. 85. 85. She's almost 86. God, do these people ever retire? No. I haven't heard many people mention this, but we were talking about it every day. Barbara Boxer was in the Senate, and she was completely gone. She didn't know how to vote. She had to have her aides literally push the button for her, and she was still in the Senate. She died in the Senate, and she was obviously in the throes of dementia, completely gone. These people, again, I know I say it every day. Other people are saying it now. There is no job, none, that they could do. They couldn't work at McDonald's. They couldn't bag groceries, and they're making these decisions that affect the world. you know, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell. These people are just, they're shameless. They're just bad people. When you can't walk away, when you don't understand that it's over, I say this a lot. But I'm going to get deep on you, Ironhead. You ready for this?
Always.
You know what the key to happiness is when you're over 70, 75? Is the understanding that it's not about you anymore. You are past your prime, physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, except if you're Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi. But when you're that age, you're supposed to look back and you're supposed to get your joy, your happiness from other people, your kids, your grandkids. They're supposed to bring you joy. They're supposed to make you happy. It's not about you anymore. You're too old. I know it's hard, and we're all going to get there. And you're supposed to understand what matters in life, family, kids, grandkids. And you're supposed to spend your time with them. You're supposed to get your pleasure, your joy, your happiness from them. It's not about you anymore. You just don't have it anymore. You're not going to accomplish things when you're 80 that you accomplished when you're 50. You aren't physically or mentally capable. Joe Biden is only functional from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Joe Biden needs a nap. Joe Biden needs to go to bed early. He needs 10, 11, 12 hours sleep. That's normal for a man in fading health at that age. And most people understand that. Most people retire, or many of them are forced to retire and get their pension or their Social Security and look back and say, I had a good life. Look back and say, my kids are doing well. My grandkids are growing up. Maybe my great-grandkids. You're supposed to hold your when you're 85, you're supposed to hold a great-grandchild in your arms and really feel good about where you are in life. When you think it's about you, you're miserable. Joe Biden, Jill Biden are miserable people because they still think it's about them. Maxine Waters, she will die in the Congress. She will never have a couple of years where she gets to walk the beach, hold the grandchildren, do what 85-year-olds are supposed to do, play Keno, whatever you like to do. That's what you're supposed to do. And she still thinks she belongs in Congress. This is an interview that you have to see. If you're just listening, I'm sorry, I can describe it, but it is hilarious. She goes on with Abby Phillip on CNN to talk about Joe Biden. This is 31 seconds of Maxine Waters adjusting her wig. That's all. As Abby Phillips talks, she tries to adjust her wig, which is a mess, by the way. I hate to break it to you, Maxine, but it ain't working. That wig just isn't working for you. Watch this.
They've seen President Biden. They've lived through his presidency. They've also seen former President Trump. They've lived through his presidency. They've heard these arguments about democracy, about the fate of the election. And yet Trump is not only winning, but winning increasingly by larger margin. So what is the plan among Democrats to change that trajectory? It sounds like you're talking about doing all the same things, but do you believe that something needs to change?
I think we need to keep working.
It's too bad there weren't like a live comedy show every Saturday night, 11:30, say, with a cast of actors, players who mock, powerful people. That'll be interesting. Saturday Night Live is going to get the green light, too, to make fun of Joe Biden and Jill Biden. And it could get ugly. But that's the face of the Democrat Party. These people are just oddballs, weirdos, and really, really dumb people, let's be honest. Not smart people, but they're entrenched. That's the best ad I've ever seen for term limits right there. An 85-year-old woman, confused, concerned about her wig, while the interviewer's trying to talk about the fate of the free world. That's what you got. If you're a Democrat, by the way, the downfall of Biden is going to hurt other Democrats. People are going to go to the polls and say, we can't trust these people. They have been lying to us for 3.5 years. We can't trust them. We can't have someone like that deciding whether American kids are going to fight in a foreign war. We can't have someone like that deciding whether we're going to close the border or not. It's just, you can't look at that. I mean, I know lots of Democrats. Are they going to look at that and say, yeah, that's my party. That's my guy, my girl. I'm all in on Mad Max. All right. Let me get to the second funniest video of the day. Do I need a break here?
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, I'm going to tell you why I feel really, really sorry for Ben Affleck. I really do. I pity that man. I don't care how much money he has. I feel bad for Ben Affleck.
Excuse me.
Ben Affleck's made some good movies. I love The Town. Let's be honest. He's made some Argo, good movies. Let me get his net worth. I'm going to get his net worth. Net worth 2024. We know he married Jennifer Lopez. That's not going great. They bought a $60 million home, according to whatever website this is. His net worth is $150 million. I would have pegged it higher, but he's had a good career. Let's be honest, right from the beginning with him and Matt Damon. Good from Good Will Hunting on. Ben Affleck's made a lot of money, made some good movies and some bad movies. We once on the radio, we compared the careers of Matt Damon over Ben Affleck. They both made some good movies and some bad movies. And I think I went with Ben Affleck, although Matt Damon was Private Ryan. That's a keeper. He wasn't the star of the movie, but he was Private Ryan. But Ben Affleck made Argo, which was a great movie. And he
Bourne
made
movies.
Which one?
You got the Bourne movies. Those were great.
Bourne movies are good. I love, you know what movie I like? Ben Affleck in The Accountant, where he plays like this Asperger accountant who's a killer who was trained to kill. And he's a fascinating character. He's had a good run. Right now he's going through some trouble. You know, all the TMZs and the New York Post are telling us, you know, Jennifer Lopez is in the Hamptons partying while Ben's back home smoking cigarettes. As we told you last year, one of his kids at the funeral for her grandfather, Jennifer Garner's father, came out as non-binary, said, I got a new name and now I want to be referred to as they at the funeral for his grandfather. That kid, I believe, her name is Finn. She changed her name to, I guess, a boy's name. But that kid, I said, ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough kid to raise, to deal with. That might be the normal one in the family. Ben Affleck's daughter goes in front of, is this the city council? Goes in front of a local board and implores them to reinstitute mask mandates. Yes, July 2024. This child, she's 18. She's in no danger of COVID or anything else. But every time you see her in public with Ben or with Jennifer Gardner, she's got a mask on. And it's not enough that she wants to wear a mask, which obviously does nothing except show the world that you're mentally unbalanced. Now she wants everyone to wear a mask everywhere. Man, obviously this kid has issues, and I can understand why Ben is, you know, out in the alley smoking a cigarette. What a tough one to deal with. Listen to this young, fabulously wealthy lunatic beg the city council to make everyone mask up.
I contracted a post-viral condition in 2019. I'm okay now, but I saw firsthand that medicine does not always have answers to the consequences of even minor viruses. The COVID-19 pandemic has thrown that into sharper relief. 1 in 10 infections leads to long COVID, which is a devastating neurological cardiovascular illness that can take away people's ability to work, move, see, and even think, stands to exacerbate our homelessness crisis, as well as the suffering of many people in our city. It hits communities of color, disabled people, elderly people, trans people, women, and anyone in a public-facing essential job the hardest. To confront the long COVID crisis, I demand mask availability, air filtration, and far UVC light in government facilities, including jails and detention centers, and mask mandates in county medical facilities. We must expand the availability of high-quality free tests and treatment, and most importantly, the county must oppose mask bans for any reason. They do not keep us safer. They make vulnerable members of our community less safe and make everyone less able to participate in Los Angeles together. Thank you very much.
How many full plates of dinner has Ben Affleck thrown against the wall having to listen to that?
That is painful to watch. That is the LA County Board of Supervisors, and that is Violet Affleck claiming COVID targets people of color and trans people in 2024. She wants them to do something because long COVID, which isn't real, is devastating, and it targets trans people. Oh, Ben, my heart breaks. My heart bleeds for you. That has to be tough, man. I don't know. I don't know if he's drinking, but he's definitely smoking and he's struggling. And we all have our struggles. Everybody is going through something, and that's Ben Affleck's 18-year-old girls are supposed to be out dancing. That girl's supposed to be at the beach without a mask on. She's all locked down in the N95, you can't even hear her. There's people out there who want mask mandates back. Why? Does she like it? Does she feel comfortable in it? Does it make her? I was walking on the beach the other day, and a woman was walking her dog by herself with a mask on. And I tried to take a picture so I could mock her online. And if I couldn't do it, I mean, I didn't want to take the camera and put it in her face. I just wanted to say, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Do you really think that that you're on the beach and that's protecting you from COVID? 18-year-old girl is worried about COVID. We have messed up the whole generation. If you're 18 and she's thin, she's healthy, and you think a mask is somehow doing something, you're insane. You need help. And I don't mean, help for COVID. You need help for your mental stability at this point. That is just sad to watch. All right, today, big day. The SAVE Act is in the front of Congress. Told you about it yesterday. The Democrats' effort to cheat in the 2024 election is full steam ahead. They're fighting this tooth and nail. Catherine Clark, Congresswoman from Massachusetts, is leading the effort. They want all Democrats to vote against a bill that would require proof of citizenship to vote. They're making it's out in the open. They're saying the quiet part out loud. They want illegal aliens to vote in the presidential election this year. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what will. That's today. And tomorrow, Ironhead, get ready. The big boy press conference. Oh, yeah, we know. Kamala said the people protesting for Gaza, for Hamas, their emotions are in the right place. She supports the people who are burning the American flag, waving the Hezbollah, Hamas flags, assaulting Jewish students. She supports them. Don't forget, she supported the rioters in the George Floyd riot, and she bailed them out and said they shouldn't stop. They should keep going. That's, in all likelihood, that's the Democrat nominee for president, a woman who supports the rioters who will be in Chicago. Let's remember that in August, tearing the city up. The nominee is on their side, and her kid, her stepdaughter, is more screwed up than Ben Affleck's stepdaughter. Just a total lunatic. She's the one that got busted at Columbia. But those are the faces of the Democrat Party. And there's another one right there. Joe, Creepy Joe. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Ironhead. I'm Jerry Callahan.